Every night, when you close your eyes and drift into sleep, something extraordinary happens. Your conscious mind, the part of you that analyzes, worries, and plans, begins to quiet down. And as that happens, the doorway to your subconscious mind begins to open. This is where your true programming lives. The beliefs you hold about yourself, the automatic habits you run, and the patterns that keep repeating in your life. They are all stored there. Now, imagine this. What if you could access that vast storehouse of information and rewrite it? What if, instead of repeating the same old patterns every day, you could install new thoughts, new beliefs, and new possibilities into your subconscious while you sleep? That is not only possible, it is your greatest opportunity. When the body is in deep rest, your brain slips into slower brainwave states, theta and delta. These are the same states young children spend most of their time in, which is why they learn so quickly, why they absorb information like sponges. In theta, the subconscious is most impressionable. This means the words, emotions, and images you feed your mind before you sleep become the blueprint for your tomorrow. But here's the challenge. Most people go to bed replaying the same stories of stress, anger, fear, and limitation. They are unknowingly programming themselves for more of the same reality. The body sleeps, but the mind is rehearsing the past. And then they wonder why life doesn't change. To reprogram your mind while you sleep, you must give your subconscious something new to work with. Instead of ending your day in the energy of worry, end it in the energy of gratitude, love, and intention. Visualize yourself already living the life you desire. Feel the emotions of that reality so strongly that your brain doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. The subconscious does not argue. It accepts whatever it is repeatedly given with emotion. So tonight, when you lie in bed, I want you to practice. Don't wait for the world to change before you feel joy, abundance, or peace. Generate that state within you. Bring your attention away from what's missing and onto what's possible. See yourself healed, successful, free, abundant. Feel it as though it's already true. When you fall asleep in that elevated state, your subconscious takes that energy, that picture, and begins to wire it into your nervous system. This is how you become the architect of your reality. You are no longer a victim of old programming. You are rewriting the code. Sleep becomes a tool for transformation, not just rest. And when you repeat this process night after night, the old self dissolves and a new self emerges. Remember, your mind is always being programmed, but you get to choose what programs are running. So tonight, give your subconscious the gift of a greater vision of your future. Sleep, not as the person of your past, but as the person you are becoming. And when you wake up tomorrow, you will already be one step closer to living that reality. Your conscious mind may close down when you drift into sleep, but your subconscious mind never sleeps. It is always awake, always recording, always running the programs that dictate your reality. This is why you can go to bed with one emotion and wake up carrying the same vibration into your day, as if nothing ever changed. The subconscious is like fertile soil. It does not rest, and whatever seeds you plant, whether of fear or faith, will grow. Think about it. When you fall asleep replaying arguments, replaying stress, replaying lack, you are feeding your subconscious the same instructions night after night. You are not only rehearsing the past, you are programming the future to look exactly like yesterday. This is why so many people feel stuck in cycles. They are living out the same subconscious patterns that they unknowingly reinforced while they slept. The subconscious mind never turns off, and that is both the problem and the solution. The solution is awareness. If you know your subconscious is always awake, then you can deliberately give it something new to process. You can choose to install different patterns, different beliefs, and a different emotional state before you close your eyes. Instead of letting your body carry the energy of stress into the night, you can teach it what it feels like to live in gratitude, in peace, in joy, in abundance. When you bring those feelings into the sleep state, your subconscious goes to work on them. It begins to wire your brain and body into alignment with the state you rehearsed. This is why intention before sleep is so powerful. Sleep is not just physical recovery, it is an open doorway into subconscious transformation. Your conscious mind may rest, but your deeper mind is still listening, still accepting, still creating. It doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is vividly imagined with emotion. If you fall asleep visualizing the life you want, feeling it as though it already exists, your subconscious begins to adopt that as truth. It starts turning that imagined future into your natural state of being. Your subconscious never sleeps, so every night is a chance to reshape who you are. The moment you understand this, you stop wasting your nights rehearsing stress, and you start using them to design your future. You stop going to bed as a victim of the day, and you start going to bed as the creator of tomorrow. Every dream you feed your subconscious with emotion becomes the foundation for your next reality. So tonight, remember this simple truth: your subconscious never sleeps. You can leave it to replay the old, or you can guide it to create the new. The choice is always yours, and the transformation begins the moment you decide to plant better seeds in the garden of your mind. The brain is an extraordinary instrument, operating at different frequencies depending on your state of awareness. When you are awake, focused, and analyzing, your brain is in beta, a fast, alert frequency. But as you relax and begin to drift towards sleep, your brain slows down into alpha and eventually into theta. Theta is a magical state, a gateway between the conscious and subconscious mind. It is the place where imagination, memory, and intuition flow freely, where the boundaries between what is real and what is imagined begin to dissolve. This state is not foreign to you. In fact, you were once immersed in it as a child. Children spend the majority of their early years in theta, which is why they absorb information so quickly. They do not learn through logic or analysis. They learn through experience, repetition, and feeling. That is why children can pick up languages, behaviors, and patterns almost effortlessly. Their brains are naturally tuned into the subconscious frequencies of theta, and everything they see, hear, and feel becomes part of their internal program. As adults, we still have access to theta every single day, especially in the moments just before sleep and just upon waking. These are the times when the conscious mind begins to let go and the subconscious becomes highly impressionable. What you feed your mind during these windows bypasses the filter of analysis and is absorbed directly as truth. This is why the thoughts, images, and emotions you rehearse before falling asleep are so critical. They become instructions for the subconscious to carry out. If you lie in bed replaying the struggles of the day, you are programming your subconscious with stress. If you visualize a future filled with lack, you are programming it with limitation. But if you close your eyes and enter theta while feeling gratitude, abundance, and joy, your subconscious will treat those feelings as real. It begins to wire your brain to match the state you rehearsed. In theta, the subconscious does not argue, it simply accepts. This is why theta is called the gateway to transformation. It is the frequency where change is most easily installed. The key is emotion. A flat, lifeless thought carries no power. But when you add emotion, when you feel the future as if it is already happening, you amplify the message to your subconscious. You are no longer just thinking about change. You are embodying it. And the subconscious mind, in its theta receptivity, records that embodiment as your new reality. Every night you have this opportunity. Every night your brain passes through theta on the way to sleep. It is a doorway you walk through whether you are aware of it or not. The difference is whether you walk through carrying the baggage of the past or whether you step through with a vision of your future. If you choose the latter, your subconscious begins to build that future for you while your body rests. That is the power of theta. It is not just a brainwave, it is the gateway to who you are becoming. Every thought you repeat, every emotion you dwell in, every mental picture you hold in your mind is a rehearsal. And what you rehearse, you eventually become. The mind and body do not distinguish much between something vividly imagined and something physically experienced. If you continually replay the same old scenarios, stress, anger, fear, your brain wires those patterns deeper, and your body learns to live in them as if they are your permanent reality. You are literally practicing being the same version of yourself every single day. This is why so many people feel stuck. They go to bed reviewing what went wrong, wake up thinking about the same problems, and carry those rehearsals into the day. Over time, the repetition of those thoughts and feelings becomes automatic. The rehearsal is no longer conscious, it's a program. The body becomes the mind, and the person lives out the same emotional states without even realizing it. They are rehearsing the past so consistently that the past becomes the only future they can know. But here is the powerful truth: the brain can rehearse a different future just as easily. Neuroscience shows that when you imagine yourself doing something vividly, your brain activates the same neural circuits as if you were physically performing it. In other words, you can teach your brain what to expect by rehearsing it internally. And when you add elevated emotions, gratitude, joy, love, you are not only wiring new patterns in the brain, you are signaling to your body that the future you are imagining is already real. This is why athletes visualize their performance before stepping onto the field. This is why musicians rehearse mentally before ever touching an instrument. And this is why you can change your life by rehearsing a new self before you sleep. When you close your eyes at night, instead of replaying what went wrong, imagine what can go right. Instead of rehearsing lack, rehearse abundance. Instead of rehearsing sickness, rehearse wholeness. And don't just think it, feel it. Let your heart and body experience the joy of already being that person. The subconscious mind does not care whether what you are rehearsing is from the past or from the future. It only responds to repetition and emotion. So when you give it the same script of stress, it gives you more stress. But when you give it a new script filled with vision and possibility, it begins to align your biology with that future. Day by day, thought by thought, rehearsal by rehearsal, you literally become what you practice. So ask yourself, what are you rehearsing tonight? Are you rehearsing the same story that keeps you bound to the past? Or are you rehearsing the person you want to be, the life you want to live, the reality you are ready to create? The answer will determine not only how you sleep, but who you wake up as tomorrow. Because in the end, you will always become what you continuously rehearse. Thoughts alone are not enough to reprogram the mind. You can think positive all day long, but if your emotions remain rooted in fear, lack, or doubt, nothing will truly change. Emotion is the code that writes the program into the subconscious. It is the language the deeper mind understands. When a thought is charged with genuine emotion, it becomes a powerful instruction that the subconscious cannot ignore. Think of your subconscious as a recording device. It does not simply take in words. It records the vibration behind those words. If you affirm, "I am abundant," but your body is filled with anxiety about money, the subconscious records the anxiety, not the affirmation. The frequency of your emotion overrides the surface level thought. This is why so many people feel stuck despite repeating affirmations. They are speaking one language while sending an entirely different signal through their emotions. When you attach elevated emotions to your thoughts, the subconscious begins to accept them as reality. Gratitude, joy, love, inspiration. These are high-frequency emotions that open the heart and bring coherence to the brain. In this state, the thought, "I am abundant," is not just an empty phrase, it is felt as real. The subconscious does not argue with it, it records it as truth. And once that truth is recorded, it begins to influence your behaviors, your choices, and even the opportunities that show up in your life. This is why rehearsing your future before sleep is so powerful. In the moments before drifting off, your brain enters slower waves, and your subconscious becomes more impressionable. If you pair your vision with strong elevated emotion, if you feel the excitement of living your dream, the gratitude of already having it, the joy of being that new self. You are writing a powerful new program. The subconscious takes that emotional experience and begins to build it into your biology. Your body starts to live as if that future is already here. Emotion is the code because it bypasses the analytical mind. The conscious mind may doubt, may argue, may analyze, but the subconscious responds only to what you feel. This is why trauma embeds so deeply. The strong emotion cements the memory. But the same principle works in your favor when you consciously generate elevated emotions tied to your desired reality. By rehearsing gratitude for a future that has not yet come, you install that future as if it has already happened. Every night, you have a choice. You can fall asleep replaying emotions of fear, anger, or lack, reinforcing those as your subconscious programs. Or you can fall asleep generating emotions of gratitude, abundance, and love, writing new code into your deepest mind. Whatever emotion you carry into sleep becomes the blueprint for your tomorrow. So remember this truth: the thought is the instruction, but the emotion is the code. When you learn to align the two, you unlock the power to rewrite your destiny from the inside out. Sleep is more than physical rest. It is a spiritual tool for transformation. Every night when the conscious mind quiets down, the door to the subconscious opens wide. This is not just biology. It is an opportunity for renewal, for healing, and for creation. While the body restores itself, the deeper mind becomes highly receptive. What you offer it in those moments of transition between waking and sleeping can shape not only your dreams, but your entire reality. Most people see sleep only as recovery from the exhaustion of the day. They lie down carrying stress, frustration, and unresolved emotions, and they slip into unconsciousness with the weight of the past still alive in their body. And so the subconscious continues to rehearse those same states all night long. When morning comes, they wake up with the same energy they carried into sleep, and the cycle repeats. Sleep is wasted on replaying old stories. But when you begin to see sleep as a spiritual tool, everything changes. The hours you spend in bed become sacred space. They become the canvas where you paint the picture of who you are becoming. By intentionally directing your mind and emotions before you drift off, you can align with higher frequencies: gratitude, love, peace, and abundance. Your subconscious absorbs these energies as if they are real and begins to reorganize your inner world to match them. This is why ancient wisdom traditions placed so much value on prayer, meditation, or reflection before sleep. They understood that the final state you enter before rest is carried into the deeper levels of mind. Science now shows the same truth. The brain moves through theta and delta during sleep, frequencies where the subconscious is most impressionable. When you enter those states with intention, you are programming not just your mind, but your entire being. Sleep becomes more than unconsciousness, it becomes communion with possibility. The mind lets go of its constant chatter, the body lets go of its tension, and what remains is pure potential. In that potential, you can plant the seeds of healing, of transformation, of new identity. Each night becomes an initiation into the future self you are creating. So ask yourself, what energy are you taking with you into sleep? Are you giving your subconscious the vibrations of fear and limitation, or are you offering it gratitude and vision? When you treat sleep as a spiritual tool, you are no longer simply resting, you are consciously evolving. The person who lies down is not the same person who rises in the morning, because in the depths of sleep, the subconscious has been quietly rewriting the code of your reality. Sleep is not an escape from life. It is a sacred opportunity to align with the highest version of yourself. When you understand this, bedtime becomes more than the end of your day. It becomes the beginning of your transformation. Every night, you have the opportunity to choose who you fall asleep as. Most people lie down in bed still carrying the weight of the day, the arguments, the disappointments, the stress, the memories of what went wrong. They close their eyes as the same old version of themselves, rehearsing the past, and then wonder why tomorrow looks just like yesterday. But if you want your future to be different, you cannot fall asleep as the same person who has been living the same story. You must fall asleep as the new you. The subconscious mind is most impressionable in the moments before sleep. As your brainwaves slow down from beta into alpha and theta, the conscious guard begins to dissolve, and your deeper mind becomes open to suggestion. What you think, feel, and imagine in those final minutes does not vanish into nothing. It enters the subconscious as programming. If you go to bed with worry, your subconscious records worry. If you go to bed with gratitude, your subconscious records gratitude. The state you fall asleep in is the state you wake up into. Falling asleep as the new you means no longer letting the old self dominate those sacred final moments of the day. It means consciously generating the emotions of the person you want to become. Before you drift into unconsciousness, if you desire abundance, you feel abundant. If you desire healing, you feel whole. If you desire love, you embody love. You close your eyes already living the future you are creating, and your subconscious begins to accept it as truth. This practice is powerful because the subconscious does not argue. It does not say, "This isn't real yet." It simply takes the emotional energy you provide and begins wiring it into your nervous system. Night after night, if you fall asleep embodying the new you, your subconscious works on your behalf, programming that version of yourself into your biology. Over time, the body forgets how to live in the old emotions, and it learns how to live in the elevated states you rehearsed. Imagine this: instead of drifting off with the stress of the day, you close your eyes feeling joy, peace, and freedom. You see yourself already thriving, already succeeding, already living the life you once thought was out of reach. You fall asleep in that state, and while your body rests, your subconscious works tirelessly to align your inner world with that vision. When you wake up, you are not the same as when you closed your eyes. You are already a step closer to the new you. So tonight, before you close your eyes, ask yourself, who am I choosing to fall asleep as? If you fall asleep as the person of your past, you will continue to live your past. But if you fall asleep as the person of your future, you give your subconscious the instructions to build that future for you. Fall asleep as the new you, and you will awaken in a reality that reflects who you are becoming.